Hey there, YouTube family, Veggie Nelly here, and it is 2019. I am glad to be back on YouTube, and this week's video is going to be about 4 steps on healing from your breakup. So I'm going to actually post another video that I made about breakups in the description, so make sure you check it out. It's also really good. It's about false beliefs and tips to get over a breakup. This video is going to be more structured. So this is going to be the specific steps, and there's 4 of them, to get over a breakup. So without further ado, let's begin. First, I want to mention who this video is going to be for. So if you've gone through a breakup, and most of us have gone through at least one breakup in our lives, every single person. So most of us kind of can relate with that. If you've gone through a breakup, and it doesn't matter if it was recent or if it was a long time ago, here's how you know if this video it would be helpful for you, or if you can apply these steps to what happened. So if you are feeling this sense of appreciation and peace for this person that you broke up with, or who broke up with you, if you're just feeling that peace and appreciation for them being in your life, for everything they've taught you, for all the experiences that you guys have shared together, then you probably don't need this video, because it sounds like you've already processed everything and you're just at a very calm and peaceful state, ready for the new journey. However, if you're feeling any of the negative emotions like sadness, anger, blame, or guilt towards yourself for letting that person go, or blaming them for leaving you, or dumping you, or cheating on you, or whatever the case may be, if you're having any of those emotions, maybe you just miss them, you just love them so much, but you miss them, any of those feelings will help you get over the breakup. Now, I want to just point out, if you love that person, really deeply love that person, and you broke up with them, or they broke up with you, these steps are not gonna make you get rid of that love, okay? But it's gonna get rid of the pain that comes with the breakup. The love will still be there, and it should be there. If you at some point were together, I think there's always that piece of love and kindness that you will feel towards them, because at some point you chose them as a partner. Okay, so the first step is acceptance. So I've read a lot of articles when I was going through my breakup, and it's all these different things of like sadness, denial, anger, and then I think at the very end, acceptance and hope, or something like this. And so I put this step as first, because acceptance essentially means that you are accepting the breakup, that this in fact happened, and you know that you're not going to get back together. You know that the relationship as it was, it ended. So acceptance is really the final stage of the breakup. Throughout the acceptance, or throughout getting to the acceptance, you will experience denial, you will experience anger, sadness, and kind of finally, after the turmoil of these emotions, you will have the courage to just think, okay, you know what, maybe this is it, and then you accept the breakup. Now, when you accept the breakup, it doesn't mean you accept what happened with you, or you accept, if you decided to break up, you accept that, oh, this was the right decision or the wrong decision. There's no judgment in acceptance. Acceptance is simply accepting the current state, that you two are no longer together, that you two have truly, broken up. So this is the first stage. Now, I'm going to get into the second and third stage next, or the second and third step. After speaking with some of my friends that kind of I've shared these steps with, I have realized that the second and third can be interchanged. So the third can become second, and the second can become third. The first and fourth are stationary. They will not change. It will always start at the acceptance stage, and it will always end at the fourth step. We'll get to it in a minute. But the second and third, it really depends on what kind of person you are. I am a very analytical person by nature, so the second step became second for me. But if you're more of an emotional creature, perhaps the third one would be yours. So the second step in this process is lessons learned. So when I say lessons learned, what do I mean? Well, I'm talking about the main lessons learned from the relationship and also from the breakup. These can be two different things. You can be learning certain lessons in the relationship and then certain lessons from the breakup of that relationship. So just get out a pen and paper, or if you're like me, get on the computer and just start writing. Just start writing. What did you learn about this relationship? Maybe you learned something about how you are in an argument. Maybe you learned about how what kind of friend you are. Are you a supportive person? Maybe you learned your love language. You know, maybe it's acts of service or gifts or whatever it is. What did you learn? How do you react towards something? When you're angry, do you yell or do you shut down? You know, what are your communication skills? Like all of these things, these are things that you learn in a relationship, and usually conflict brings it up. Another thing that will help you is to remember specific instances and to think of what behavior drove what results. So maybe I don't know, your boyfriend forgot to wash a cup and just left it sitting on the counter, and then you constantly got upset that you had to always pick up after him, you know, or your girlfriend would take forever to get ready, and so you guys were always running late to whatever place you were going. So these are, I mean, as small as these can be silly examples, but I'm just giving them to you to kind of get started. You'll remember those silly ones first before you remember like some of the big ones and some of the deeper ones. And know that there are layers in this, something that may come up at first, maybe just on the surface, and then as you dig deeper, you will learn further and further and further and further. So, and now the third part of this lessons learned is claiming responsibility. So understanding who's responsible for which behavior, and really kind of taking ownership of that. So you know, how did the argument start? You know, did you start up an argument, and was it unreasonable, or did you wait and not speak up about your feelings and how you felt until they absolutely bottled up inside, and then you just exploded on them, and then you feel bad because you overreacted? You know, like all of those things, they add up, right? And breakups don't just happen overnight. Everything was perfect and then it just happened. If we are thinking that, and I definitely was under the same thought process for a lot of my breakups. And when I started doing the lessons learned, really digging deep, I realized actually this was a long time coming. There was a lot of consistent behaviors that kind of drove certain results. And I was able to pinpoint exactly which ones I was responsible for, which ones my partner was responsible for. And based on that, I was able to understand, okay, which one is my shit, which one is his shit. And that gives you a great sense of empowerment, because you know that, first of all, it's not your fault, or it's not all your fault, or it's not all your partner's fault, which is, I think, we tend to kind of assign blame. Either we feel guilty for everything, or we blame the other person for everything. So this kind of puts everything out in the open, and there's always responsibility always lies on two people in a relationship. It's never just one person. But it's helping us see that, because our ego really doesn't want us to see that. Our ego wants us to feel protected and say that you're perfect, that you've done nothing wrong. And in this case, or maybe we put the other person on a pedestal and then we think, oh my God, they were perfect and I messed up. I am so wrong. That also never exists. There's always responsibility of both people. So seeing that is key in helping you move on, and key in making sure you don't make those same mistakes again, because you will be able to recognize what behavior will drive to whatever results, so that next time next time when you notice that behavior, next time when you notice you acting this way or the other person acting this way, you kind of know to pause and reflect and maybe change that behavior, as opposed to just following that pattern over and over again. So this step is really, really important. So again, this is what I want to say. I'm a very analytical person, so it was easy for me to do this step second, because I was able to, after the acceptance, I was able to just, okay, let me just process it through. It was kind of like a puzzle that I was trying to put together. Okay, well, let me see what happened. This happened. Okay, so this led to this, and I was just putting all the pieces together. If you are very emotional, okay, you've accepted the breakup, but you're still very, very emotional about it, you know, you're crying, you're missing that person, you're just like, I can't, I mean, I know we broke up, but I'm a mess. Do not do this step, because this will wreck you up. Do not do this step. You will not be sane, and it will not make sense. So definitely, if you're that person, or if you're going through the emotions, you're not kind of sane yet, you're still going through all of those things, wait to do the step and do it third. Okay, but if you're like me, if you're very analytical, you would be able to do this step fairly easily. Okay, so the third step, this one may take the longest time. This one is not something that you could just check off the list, and this is something that I personally struggle with a lot, because I just wanted to check it off the list. I did my lessons learned. Okay, great, I know what to do next now, and I just wanted to move right along. But the last step, I'll just tell you, is forgiveness. And so after I've accepted, I did the lessons learned, I could not forgive. So I realized that I was missing an important step, and I could not figure it out. It took me forever. And this step is really simple, but it's the one that may take the longest, and you just have to be patient. And I'm not gonna say take your time, because it's really not about time, but it's about the process. And this process can take 3 days, it can take 3 years. It's really different for each person. But here's the key. After this after this third step, you will definitely feel the difference. Like, you will feel lighter, you will feel easier, you will just feel much better. So the third step is clearing the energetic space. What do I mean by that? It can be kind of confusing. What do you mean, like clearing the energetic space? What does that even mean? Energetic space are the energies that we hold inside. And so that usually means some kind of feelings of sadness, feelings of anger, feelings of resentment, fear, any of these emotions. And it's normally what takes the longest is the breakup normally brings up something from our childhood, or an experience or a pattern that we've learned maybe from our parents, that is a lot deeper than what you may think on the surface from the breakup. And it's really processing those old wounds, and with patience and support. So it's allowing them to come to the surface. And I could do even like a separate video on energetic space and share with you some of my experiences with this. This is such a powerful thing, you guys. And like I said, you may hold this resentment, this anger, all of these emotions for a long time. And then once you clear it, it's like it goes. You just feel it. And literally your energetic space, like it changes overnight. It changes in that moment. And the next morning you wake up, you're already a different person, and you're vibrating at a higher level. You feel different, and you're attracting more positive things when you clear this like old yucky energy that's weighing you down. And that's essentially what it's doing. Doing that with patience and support. So that is when You want to rely on your friends. You want to rely on journaling, meditation. If you have a coach, definitely showing up with your coach on this. I strongly encourage you to seek support in whatever way that it feels comfortable to you. Maybe it is, talking to a friend that you know is not going to judge you and is going to listen and just support you. Not necessarily offer any advice about it, but just witness you go through that experience. There's nothing more powerful than that. Also prioritizing self-care. So that is really starting to take care of your body, maybe having a routine of waking up in the morning at a certain hour, working out, eating right, sleeping right, and all of those things are very, very important. So I'll share with you again, this is all my experience. So something that really and truly helped me heal in this clear in the energetic space and heal very rapidly fast is establishing a spiritual practice. That is something that I didn't really have before, and whatever in your case this may be, in my case it was going to church and really finding that deep connection with God. In your case it can be being out in nature, maybe meditating, maybe doing yoga, maybe reaching out and establishing kind of a sisterhood, a spiritual sisterhood, or brotherhood, whoever is watching. But it's really connecting with your soul, connecting with the higher self, and that will help you heal faster than anything. And all of these other pieces will just be kind of an add-on, because I think all of those pieces helped. And that connection with God can come from friends, or it can come from friends, it can come from coaches, it can come from parents, it can come from articles that you read, it can come from books that you see, or songs, or anything like that. It will be surrounded. Once you're looking for these answers, once you're really seeking for that support, it will come to you. And I want you to be patient. A virtue that I don't have is patience. So I really had to be patient and just having that trust that it's all going to be okay. I don't know how and I don't know when, but somehow it will all work out. And what helped me have that trust is to really rely on God so much. And that is something that I never was doing before. And I used to go through these breakups all by myself. And even though my friends were there, my family was there, and I read so many books about it, and I journaled about it, it still didn't make the pain go away. And this really does. It really helped you make it go away. So when you clear the energetic space, you will notice this hook that's been holding you for a super long time. You will notice it be released, and then your heart will feel full, okay? And it won't ache anymore. It will just feel so good. Okay, now I want to get to the last step, which is forgiveness. That is forgiving your partner and then forgiving yourself. And then the last piece of that is closure. Whatever closure you decide to do, whether you decide to meet up with them or reach out to them or write them a letter, you don't necessarily have to send it to them, but it's some kind of just closure that makes you feel, okay, you know what, this is it. This is really the end. And it's like you're almost writing a book, and you're talking about your experience. So I'll share with you my experience of this piece, because even though I've cleared the energetic space, I think, and I've forgiven my partner, because in the breakup, he was the initiator of the breakup. So in the clear and the energetic space, I've forgiven him. but I could not forgive myself because I blame myself for choosing that partner. I blame myself for making all of those decisions that I've identified in lessons learned, all the behaviors, and I could not forgive myself. I was like, how did I not know better? Why did I do this? All of those emotions, and I was so scared to even go out dating because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna feel that way again. I'm gonna get trapped. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be terrible. I had this very negative kind of opinion about myself. And what happened is I found a video, and it's funny because this happened last year. I found a video that I recorded for him exactly a year ago. How crazy is that? First of all, serendipity is just amazing. So I found this video that I recorded for him exactly a year ago, and I saw this girl, and I watched it. I watched this video, and this video was 100 things I appreciate about him. And I saw this video, and I saw this girl that is sitting there, and she is so in love with him, and she is so just believes in him so much that all of a sudden I had to I felt like giving her a hug, because that girl right there, she was also sitting on the couch. It's ironic, I'm sitting on the couch right now too. That girl is sitting on the couch, had no idea at the time of what the reality was. She was living in denial, and she was perfectly happy in that denial. She was perfectly happy in that stage where she was, and that's the thing. And in that moment, I was able to forgive myself because I didn't know better at the time. We often think after we've learned that, we had that knowledge a year ago or 6 months ago or even 2 days ago, whenever this thing happened, but we didn't, because if we had, we wouldn't have done that. It's simple. So blaming yourself and feeling guilty for what you've done simply does not make sense. You did not have the knowledge. You had the best knowledge that you had to make that decision at the time. You always make the right decisions. That's the part that we struggle with sometimes, because in hindsight, everything's 20/20. So, and I don't know what this may be for you, but maybe looking through your journaling, maybe looking through, maybe some videos that you've made together, or some pictures, or maybe remembering some situations, but really take yourself back and just be truly honest with yourself. Come on, did you really know this? Did you really know this? And there's nothing wrong with thinking that the person is, better than they were, or thinking that this person is naive, even if this person is you. It's okay. It's okay, and it's okay to change your mind. If you thought this was good, but now you've changed your mind, it's fine. It's life. It happens. We're always evolving. We're always growing, and it's just part of the journey, okay? So I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that this video helps you. I hope that these steps help you if you're currently going through a breakup, if you've gone through a breakup but haven't fully healed. I wanted to share this gift with you, and please let me know if these steps are helping you, if you notice where you currently are in the journey, in the process. Another thing that really helped me when I identified these steps, even though I may not be at the end, but I knew where I was in the journey. And I think that is so powerful, because in the moment when we're going through this thing, we think it's never going to end. We think it's always going to hurt like this. But there's an end to it. There's a process to it. And it's not about taking time, but it's about going through these steps and really following the process. Being patient, not rushing yourself, taking as long as you need, and not having those expectations that you should be done already. It doesn't matter. It's not about the time. It's not about feeling done. It's about truly loving yourself in that moment and really experiencing this journey, because this journey, this is how we grow. This is how we evolve. And this is what our soul ultimately wants. Even though our brain may disagree. Thank you guys for being here with me, and I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I will see you soon. Sending you so much love. Bye.